Hey guys, Blizzard put out a blue post today about tier sets and creation catalysts, so I wanted to give it a read through, and I figured I'd bring you along. It starts off by saying, Blizzard. Hi friends, I'm a senior game designer on the systems team. I've been working on WoW for 14 years now, and I've worked through a few PTR cycles, like this one. In this post, I'd like to talk about some of what we're doing in Eternity's End that you'll see in updates coming to the PTR over the next couple weeks. We want the return of class sets to be as satisfying as possible, so we're tweaking different aspects of how you acquire and fill out your class sets based on your feedback. First and foremost, from the start of the PTR, we've intended to have set pieces drop from separate loot tables on each boss that drops them, so that you're guaranteed to see many set pieces over time. These class sets are the highlight of this content update, and we don't want a run of bad luck to cause the raid team to complete a full clear and realize they only got a very small number of set pieces. The PTRs there for testing, and rather unfortunately, you all found a nasty bug that doubled the loot tables. Many of you sent in inquiries and bug reports about the raid bosses dropping twice as much loot as expected on the PTR, and that assist is appreciated. Once we fix the bug, again, in the next couple of weeks, you should see the expected amount of total drops from each boss, still with the guaranteed set pieces in a similar ration to the bug table, just fewer total items. Please do not stop reading here, there's more. The Creation Catalyst. We've designed this tier with a future eventuality in mind. If you haven't heard of it yet, a new in-game gear transformer called a Creation Catalyst will come online 8 weeks after the content mandate, if all goes according to plan. The Creation Catalyst will allow you to craft set gear that you haven't got from raid bosses or the Great Hall. It will also be a swift way to do it and all during the match. The Catalyst exists as an answer to a problem that we've had with class sets in the past, where either acquisition was much too fast, or through off content, were painfully slow and annoying. Your voice and frustration for those systems are the reason we're building the Catalyst today. It's powered by Cosmic Flux, which you'll find easy enough to gather for this purpose. Cosmic Flux can and should be taken to the Rune Carver to make legendary gear. The Creation Catalyst is going to have an internal cooldown, which is on a global charge that accumulates. This isn't a case where it's a personal cooldown that you could miss and fall behind. Everyone's got the same number of charges at any given time, so you're all on a level playing field. This isn't an arbitrary decision. By putting an accumulating charge on the Catalyst, we avoid making it so that the right way to play is focus on gathering flux, and not use it for legendaries or worry about grinding out as much as humanly possible, so that you can make a full set the moment the Creation Catalyst unlocks. You'll be able to make one piece at a time. Of course, by then, alts and players who come along later in the tier will find that they can create multiple set pieces right away, which fulfills its role as a catch-up mechanism. We're switching to tokens. We've seen a lot of feedback, both from the players on the PTR and our colleagues internally, making the case for set pieces dropping as tokens rather than discrete items. While both ways of doing it have pros and cons, we've decided to have bosses drop set slot tokens for Eternity's End. First, let's talk about the design side of things. When it comes to designs like this, we think about all of the different likely scenarios for the player experience. For example, how do set drops work out for a player who is the only mage in their raid group? How do we see that going and feeling if that person is the only mage for 6 consecutive weeks of raiding? What about a scenario where the raid has 7 mages? We don't want it to be more difficult on any particular player in any particular situation to get a set piece from boss drops and trading. Especially as you go later into the patch and some players have most of their set are raiding with other players who, for various reasons, have none or perhaps only one. In addition to design considerations, there are also technical limitations we have to tackle. Items, which are dropped as tokens, are very different from the perspective of game code than items which are equipable by players, and not quite as smart. As a result, some of the work we do to make sure the loot was equitable and fair aren't as effective with them, a lesson we drew from how Casa Nazria played out. As a result, we'd been sacrificing more important reliability features by using tokens. However, thanks to a heroic assistance from our hard-working engineering team, those restrictions have been removed, and tokens are fully first-class citizens on the back end. Tokens aren't a magic bullet here, but we agree with these changes. They'll hopefully feel better and distribute set gear as equitably, or more so, than the discrete item drops would have. This is another experiment. We've done tokens in the past, but never with a full structure of parallel loot and the safeguards of the catalyst. But until we try tokens, we won't know how successful or not they are in the world. So you should see us switch over to the set token drops in the next week's PTR update, and we'll be listening to your voices as 9.2 progresses. Thank you. We really appreciate all the testing and feedback we've seen so far, and we're looking forward to your reactions on these coming changes. We want to hear everything you have to say about your tier ecosystem, obtaining tier, their effects, many of which have changed already, trading, both what you like and what you don't like. It's immeasurably helpful for us. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for coming by. I'm going to send a hi out to my best friend, and you all take care.